Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video, and this is gonna be very valuable. I feel it's gonna be very valuable to you guys, and it's gonna be about what business owners are considering when they're potentially gonna hire you, okay? It's 5 things that I wrote down on my laptop here, and we're just gonna go over down the list. I don't think it's not gonna be ranked from most important to least important, but the first one I'm gonna mention is gonna be pretty important, okay? And this is something that not many people talk about, so make sure you like, you comment, subscribe before we get into it. And slots for August for the Oracle, my one-on-one mentorship, where I help you start with appointment setting, get placed into a position, and then scale up from there. Links are in the description to apply for that now. 3 slots for August. Go check it out, okay, before they go. So let's talk about what these business owners, these agencies, these coaches, these consultants, anyone you're trying to land a gig with, what they're considering when they're looking at you and everyone else, okay? So the first thing, which is the most important thing actually, is gonna be confidence. Confidence/character, okay? I told this to a student earlier this morning or this afternoon, and I was explaining this to him. You have person A and you have person B. Person A, let's say, has a lot of experience, has sold and set several thousands of dollars in terms of appointments, and he's got all the credentials in the world, but he downplays his achievements. He has a low self-esteem. He doesn't have a lot of confidence in his work and his past experience. And then we have person B, for example, who, let's say, does not have the most experience, but they're very coachable. They're hardworking. They speak the language. They go above and beyond to research the business owner, what they do, what's their offer, etc. They go through all this due diligence, and they're just a great person overall, and they're very, very high quality. 9 times out of 10, if person B comes in with full confidence in the interview versus person A, despite person A having all the achievements, person B is probably still gonna win out. They're probably still gonna get the job over person A. Simply because they came into the interview, they let their nuts hang, and they have all the confidence and the conviction. They already assume, in a way, that they're gonna land the gig. Because here's the thing, guys. Character traits is much harder to replicate, and it's much harder to cultivate rather than skills. Okay, skills can be taught. Training is there, you can put the reps in, but if you don't have the right character traits, that's much harder to develop, or at least it takes a longer time to develop. Okay, so make sure when you come into these interviews and you just speak to these business owners, make sure you have confidence on top. Confidence on top, forget about the experience. I mean, if you have experience, which we'll get into later, that's gonna come in handy, okay? But if you don't have experience, your best asset is gonna be your confidence, your conviction, your aura, your character, okay? So when I say character, like I said earlier, are you actually coachable? Are you actually gonna put in the work? All these little things are gonna add up, and it's gonna make an impression, okay? So the first thing is gonna be confidence/character. Come into these interviews, full confidence, don't downplay your achievements, don't downplay anything, just come in. And if they say, like, don't be attached to the yes too. Easier said than done, but people can tell if you're desperate too. So don't be desperate, just treat it like another interview and just keep it moving, okay? So first thing is confidence and character. Now the second thing I'm gonna mention that these guys are gonna be considering is your personal brand/social media. I'm gonna add as well your network, okay? So there's a couple different components we're gonna break down. So in terms of personal brand, all you guys should be building personal brands, okay? The top offers that I got on in my past when I was appointment setting full time, and even closing for a brief stint. A big part of why I got those positions was simply because, shit, I think the mic cut out there, but anyway, it's fine. Simply because of personal brand and social media. All right, so my mic cut out there, so we're gonna ditch that. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm gonna get closer to the camera. But anyways, as I was saying, personal brand, a big part of why I got the offers that I got on was because of my personal brand. Like, people looked at my social media, people looked at how optimized it was, that I knew what I was talking about. I was sharing content. As you guys know, I've been on YouTube for a minute now, past 3 to 4 years. And I've been just consistently sharing my journey, documenting the journey, sharing my learnings, giving you guys gems, not holding back. You guys can do the same. Now, you don't have to do YouTube. Just pick a social media platform and just commit to it. Start putting yourself out there, start showing your face, start putting out valuable content. Even if you don't have as much experience yet, you could at least share your learnings, because if, let's say, not a lot of people find value with it, that's still gonna stick on your social resume, your digital resume. And even if it just helps one person, whether it's like a thing that you learned while you were setting, or you're just documenting the journey, oh, this is what I did today. I did 75 outreach, did follow-ups, here's something that I learned so far. That's really gonna help. And if you just do that consistently, you're already ahead of 99% of the competition who won't even put themselves out there, and because they're too shy. I don't know what it is these days, all right? So I'm not the first one guaranteed who's gonna tell you to build your personal brand. So here I am telling you again. I promise you guys, if you start investing in your personal brand, making that long-term play, it's gonna pay off dividends. You're gonna attract better opportunities. You're gonna attract more opportunities because you're putting yourself out there and getting attention. You're gonna build a lot more trust. The list goes on, okay? Social media, start optimizing your profile, start sharing content, document the journey, make sure you prioritize imperfect action over perfect inaction and never actually getting started, okay? And another thing as well, like I mentioned, network. So as you get onto this personal branding journey, as you share your insights as a setter or a closer, you're gonna start building connections too. You're gonna start building connections with other setters, other business owners, other growth operators, other closers, okay? And then who knows, those people, even just one of them in your network, if they have a gig and it's an open position and you're the first one on their mind for that, that's your ticket, okay? So make sure you're investing in your personal brand and you're building it out there. It's a long-term play, but I guarantee, I trust you guys, and I promise you guys that it's worth it. I mean, look at me, I'm a walking testament for that, okay? The biggest and best closers that I know, the most successful ones, the ones who made the most progress in the quickest amount of time, setters as well, they have solid personal brands, they have an online presence, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3 is of course gonna be experience. So experience, let's not beat around the bush, it does come in handy if you have had setting experience before, closing experience, even if you had a sales job in the past, door-to-door, B2B, cold calling, doesn't matter, like experience is gonna help you. So if you have experience, leverage that as much as you can. Just don't stop talking about it, okay? So if you don't have experience, however, that's fine. Like I said, just stick to the other 4 things I'm gonna mention that I've already mentioned, and just let the confidence walk, have the personal brand, and then even if you don't have experience, you might have to land an offer for now that maybe not be the best, but you just cycle through, you just work your way up the ranks, and now you can start to stack experience, saying that you've worked on this offer before, you worked for this offer in this niche, and then you're coming to the good offer, you're coming on that interview with experience this time, okay? So experience, while it does help, like don't let it stop you from getting what you want. Okay, so number 3 is experience. Number 4, these business owners will be considering logistics. So what do I mean by that? Basically time commitment and time zone and some other things as well. So when it comes to time commitment, or what's your schedule like? Can you actually do full-time? Can you do part-time? Can you physically, logistically not set for them full-time? You got work, you got kids, you got family, you're studying at the moment, you're doing everything of the above. All right, so those things are gonna come into effect. Obviously, if you have less time commitment, then it's gonna be a bit harder for business owners to want to consider you, simply because they want someone who has all the time in the world to commit to this. But even if you don't have that much time in your hands, a couple hours a day, just go for like a part-time position, or just, be resourceful, okay? Learn to be resourceful. It's not supposed to be easy. Like, you may have to be in the season right now, I call it trenches season, where essentially everything's like extremely hard in the beginning, and you have to put in the work. You have to be resourceful despite you having a job, despite you studying, despite you being away for trips all the time. Whatever the case may be, you need to be resourceful. So logistics, time commitment, time zone as well. I know I've said before that time zone does not matter when you're DM setting. With closing, it does, because you're gonna have to be taking calls. But I've noticed like across the past few months that time zone is actually pretty important. I hate to say it, but it is actually pretty important, because some business owners are picky about which time zone you're in. Can you even accommodate? So for example, if the business that you're applying for, that you have the interview for, is based in Colorado, and let's say you're all the way in Brisbane, Australia, yeah, sure, you can find a way to work around it. If you say you're willing to work in those hours, in US hours, I think that means you have to stay up late, then so be it. But time zone, it's not the best if you're not in a good time zone. Like, that comes into play too, all right, whether we like it or not. So I'm just telling you guys, I'm just being honest. So number 4 is going to be logistics, time zone, time commitment, as well as other logistics too. Now, number 5, the last one, is going to be your future goals. So one of the questions that you're most likely going to be asked on the interview when applying for a position is going to be, what are your future goals? What's your future plans? How much do you want to make? Where do you want to take this? Okay, so you're going to ask that, and the best, like, honesty is best policy. If you know what you want, that's great. People are always looking for people who know what they want out of life, who are ambitious, and they're going to go after it. If you don't know what you're doing after closing, after setting, it is a stepping stone. It's not something you should be doing forever. but at least start to carve out a plan, or start to make sure you know what you want to do after setting and closing, okay? Because when it's all said and done, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit around all day? Are you just gonna keep closing forever? I don't know. So make sure you just be honest with what your future goals are. You be honest with how much you actually want to make, and yeah, just be transparent about your future goals and know exactly what you want, because this is going to be something that business owners are considering. It also says a lot about your ambition and your long-term thinking. Okay, so the clearer picture that you have for what you want to do after this space, the more chances you're going to land the interview, or the more chances you're going to land the position, okay? Simply because they see that ambition, they see that long-term thinking. So start carving out a plan, know exactly what you want, or at least identify the direction you're going in after you do setting, after you do closing, okay? I know with me, for example, I've said to you, after setting and closing, you should be doing your own thing. And this is exactly what I did. That's why I opened the mentorship program, where I just help other people do the same now and big brother them. So whether you want to start your own thing, you want to be a sales manager, you want to get into a completely different business, it doesn't matter. Just like be honest and know what you want, okay? So those are going to be the 5 things that business owners are going to be considering when they're hiring you. Make sure you have all these 5 things on lock, you have answers to all of them, and make sure that they're all consistent and you know exactly what you want at the end of the day, all right? If you focus on these 5 things, you're going to be ahead of 99% of the competition. So I hope that was some sauce for you there. Hope you enjoyed. If it was, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as I said, all the links down below if you want to work with me. We also have a free group. And yeah, this is what the business owners are going to be considering, okay? So be prepared, and hope this helps. Take notes, and good luck on your hunt for your first position, or your A ticket, your A+ tier position. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.